Now, if you've been following me, like, on anything, you probably recognize this silver-haired feline. White Cat has been a popular profile picture, talking point for me for quite some time, and that being said, you might be thinking, 22? Bottom of the list? Really? Well, yeah, it's a bit hard, for me anyway, to justify putting a character on this list when I haven't been able to play their game, or their game isn't even available yet in my region. Yep, Ys 9 isn't out yet, and won't be until 2021. Honestly, for that reason, I was actually for the longest time thinking that I should put White Cat on my honorable mentions, but I just couldn't do that. Even avoiding spoilers, which would give me more than just the basics of her character, I still love her so much. A smug catgirl thief from a more gothic entry in one of my favorite series of all time. Yeah, I'm going to obsess over that for a bit, and if I had to sum up my character aesthetic preferences, then I mean, you know, there you go, there's your template. Hopefully I'll be able to bump her up some spots when I can finally play as her next year and experience her story. Until then, stay cool, White Cat. I'll see you soon enough. I don't know, man. I could have probably filled up like half of this list with Ace Attorney characters if I really wanted to. But for the sake of variety and an idea for a future list, let me just write that down. I'm going to try to limit myself. Anyway, Miles Edgeworth was probably the first character in the whole series that I ever hardcore gravitated to. And if you know me, you know why. The smug but capable rude soft boy who actually cares. Yes, there is that. But I want to be clear, there's a bit more to it when it comes to Miles Edgeworth. His character arc with Phoenix in the first game is such a good use of the rival-turned-ally trope, especially with the bonus case of the first game. Throughout the rest of the trilogy, he completes his own personal growth arc that solidified him as my favorite character in that trilogy. He means a lot to me as the player, a challenging rival who I want nothing more than to spar with and have an honest duel. And yes, we are still talking about a courtroom drama game. Although while giving an attitude that's engaging, memorable, and, for me at least, pretty endearing. His own spin-off game, as well as cameos in the second trilogy, brought out the best in him as well, and whenever I play or watch anything Ace Attorney related, Edgeworth is always a highlight for me. Alright, so let's talk about the Sonic series. It's alright. It has its ups, downs, and all-arounds. But we're not really here to talk about the series as a whole. There are some entries I genuinely love, and one of those games is a little adventure known as Sonic Rush on the DS. But I'm getting ahead of myself. About Sonic's characters. They've been mocked to death over the years, and honestly, I don't really mind them. Characters like Tails, Amy, the Chaotix, I've always kind of liked, and so many of them are just so ridiculous that I kind of just smirk and am amused by their presence. Though there is one exception that I genuinely love and think is unironically a badass. Well, I mean, I already showed her, she's on the cover. I love Blaze the Cat every second she's on the screen, or every minute I'm playing as her. Very similar to Sonic Speed, but with fire elemental abilities, in an actually sleek design as a purple cat. She's a fun, stoic counterpart to Sonic who warms up around friends who care about her, which is really sweet when it's not being melodramatic. And Blaze always stays a pragmatist in these ridiculous stories, which I think part of me kind of always respected. Blaze, to me, is the best Sonic character. It's the one time the series introduced a character since the mid-90s where I said, yep, yep, give me more of that, please. Now, here's a character that's purely carried by aesthetic alone. From a game series that, while I respect a ton, I'm not really a fan of personally, but every time she's on screen, I can't help but get myself a little excited just seeing anything that she's involved with. And her name also starts with an I, so with all those hints, I'm pretty sure you've already figured out that today's character is Isabelle Motherfucker! Look, I don't think Animal Crossing will ever be my thing, but I'll be damned if Isabelle isn't one of the most precious and adorable characters in anything I ever experience. I don't have to vibe with the franchise to see the absolute magnitude of wholesomeness she brings to a series that already wasn't lacking in that regard. From her smile, to the bell jingle, to the whiskey on the rocks, she's just perfect. Isabelle will always be this lovable Shizu with a pure heart that keeps me at least a little bit interested in her series. I'll tune into any AC Direct for a chance to catch her just chilling in these already chill environments, and I'll always use any excuse I can to play as her in other games. She's not the best in Ultimate, but that won't stop me from trying, and I still love playing as her, and she will forever be my Mario Kart 8 main. Yep, my favorite Mario character, Isabelle, from Animal Crossing. Ooh, a recent entry. Very recent, in fact. Given how much I fell in love with the characters, story, and world of The Somnium Files, I knew that recency bias wouldn't be enough to stop me from putting one of I's cast on this list. I mean, recency not mattering should have already been clear, but anyway, picking one character was incredibly difficult. I was heavily considering Aiba. Her demeanor and personality are an incredible compliment to Konami Date, and her design is really cool. I was considering making her an HM, but now I'm mentioning her here, so that counts. But the thing is, and I realized this while I was playing, was that it was Aiba's bouncing off Date that made her as enjoyable as she was. In fact, Date being such an incredible foil to everyone is what makes him such a great protagonist. On his own, he isn't the most likable, especially in the game's first half, but how he interacts with every single one of the game's characters are all some of the most enjoyable relations and interactions I've ever seen in a game. Not to mention the genuinely engaging twists and turns that caused the development for this character. And it made me incredibly glad I was experiencing this incredible journey through the eyes of the mysterious, flawed, but absolutely enrapturing character, Konami Date. Kind of a similar vein to Isabelle, except that I actually love the Shantae series. The simple, but incredibly fun and endearing Metroidvania-ish platformers from a developer that you can tell is excited by this flagship franchise of theirs and this character's resurgence in popularity. These games just ooze so much character and personality, and at the center of it is the titular half-genie hero herself. They've done so much with her character over the years and her standard abilities, her hair whipping, and especially her animal transformations. Every game, the dev team really pulls out all the stops to make each journey unique, with the main consistency being how much fun Shantae is herself to play as. Not only that, but these games are just so charming, endearing, and funny, with Shantae's interactions and attitude being an enormous part of that. She's quirky, a bit smug, and like nearly all of WayForward's cast of characters, cute as all hell. She's just great, and her attitude alone made me want to give the series a try. And now I'm urging you to do the same. Shantae always deserves more love, and maybe with this video series done, I can finally play 7 Sirens. Hey, it's this nerd. A bit over 2 years ago, if you asked me who Richter Belmont was, I probably would have looked at you curiously and said, oh, he was that kind of evil guy from Symphony of the Night and Mr. Miserable Pile of Secrets. Now, memes aside, while I was always a bit more lenient towards the Metroid half of Metroidvanias, at least gameplay-wise growing up, I adored the Castlevania aesthetic a hell of a lot more, and the DS games and Sultan still are some of my favorites out there. I prefer the style of Castlevania so much that when I saw their reveal for Smash Ultimate, a game I was dead hype for. I was so ready. All right, give me what you got. Oh, I mean, you know, Simon is cool and he's iconic, I suppose, and he should be in, but why does he look like an 80s action hero? But wait, who's this guy? Oh shit, Richter! Oh, he looks so cool with the headband and the tunic and the That trailer alone convinced me to main Richter, and I'm glad I did with how much fun he is for me over these past couple years, and I can thank him for a lot of the fun and memories that Smash Ultimate has given me, both in-game and in the community. He's still my main after all this time because I just have so much fun playing as him, and he reignited my interest in the Castlevania series as a whole. Now, speaking of which, I should probably actually play Rondo of Blood.